What's going on, guys? Cam here, back with another video, and I found this guy, John has an amazing podcast. He literally only interviews extremely successful business people and like millionaires, but his strategy, his thumbnail design, and the psychology of why somebody would watch a YouTube video is nowhere to be found. So because I love this podcast so much, what I decided to do was just fix it. And in this video, I am going to become John's YouTube marketing coach, and I'm going to show you through one specific video example everything that I would do to fix John's channel. Now let me get my big face out of the way, put myself over here just so you can kind of get a look of what's going on. Multifamily insights. John's in the B2B wealth and acquisition space, so a lot of the things that he's talking about is how do you deal with and how do you handle lots of money, a lot of money, right? Okay, so let's get into it. So this is a video that I specifically picked because he did this video with Craig. Craig is a buddy of mine who I've spoke to a handful of times. He's a really cool guy, and that's how I found his channel just to begin with. So before I actually dive into it, I have to talk through again the importance of video packaging. Packaging is the most important thing when it comes to making any form of content marketing, because you have to understand that specifically on YouTube, but really this happens on every platform, before somebody watches a video, they have a certain expectation that is preset by your video packaging. As in, nobody will click on your video, nobody will watch it past 2 seconds if the expectation that they have is not immediately met, or if the expectation is not thoroughly thought through, that they can get the desired result that they have from the actual expectation. This is a lot of like high level theory, but it's why if you go look at a Mr. Beast video, you will notice that Mr. Beast video always have a certain type of expectation that is met immediately. I wanted to show you what I'm talking about really quickly. Look at this video right here. Now, Mr. Beast is literally the biggest YouTuber in the world, so you have to understand that the minute details of YouTube he has down to a T. Look at this video, the most random one that he just put up 10 days ago. I spent 100 hours inside of the pyramids. Now, nobody who cares about B2B and making money is going to make this type of video, but there is a whole lot to learn here. More than anything, it's the emotions that are spent inside of this video. So I spent 100 hours inside of a pyramid. When you think of a pyramid, what's the first thing you think of? Probably a mummy. Now, when you think of somebody spending 100 hours inside of that pyramid, what type of emotion would you expect them to have? Well, Mr. Beast team thinks that you would be scared. You'd be astonished. You would be like, OMG, I cannot believe somebody's actually doing that. Understand the expectation before you ever click on this video is an encapsulation of the emotions behind the thumbnail and the title itself. Now, let's get back in here. Now that you understand that, I want you to take a peek at this video one more time, now that you understand what video packaging is. Now look at this, and you know, the YouTube play button's right here, but this video says raising millions from 5 categories of investors with Craig Silo. Understand that the packaging here is not well thought out. So okay, raising 1 billion. So this is, now what we did is we doubled our digital real estate. So YouTube specifically gives you 2 types of real estate, I like to call it, on a video. The first one is the title. The second one is the thumbnail. Both the thumbnail and the title should complement each other. They should not copy each other. So in this specific video, what we're looking at is the YouTube manager, whoever is going on now, copied the 2 pieces of real estate. They did not set expectations, nor did they invoke any type of emotion that's going on here. What essentially happened was it was a bit of a copy and paste job between, like, here's the title, so I guess the title works well in the thumbnail. That could not be farther from the truth. It is why John's channel is suffering so much, and it is why more people are not seeing his really amazing content. Even though there's probably not a humongous TAM, there's not a very large total addressable market of people who would want to watch his videos anyway, the people who would watch the video now have no expectation about what this is about. Everything that they're talking about kind of flows over you because the text itself is a little hard to read, and the color matching of yellow, red, and green don't necessarily merge together very well. So here's how I fixed it. 3 really big fixes that I made right here. Now, this is without talking to any one of them, so I probably could have done this a little bit better. However, I think it really gets the job done as far as packaging. The first thing that you'll see is facial expressions that highlight authority. understand what they are talking about is how to raise like a lot of money, probably relatively quickly into a bunch of different spaces. But in order to believe that person, they need to look like authoritative. You really don't want them to look friendly. You really don't want them to look like they're trying to get you to like them. You want them to look like experts, like they're good at what they say it all the time, they do this all the time, and this is their job. You want them to look like an authoritative figure, which is what we did here with their facial expressions. We make them look like authorities. The next thing that you'll kind of see in that authoritative thing is their background. This is not a background that either one of them were at, but the background of like this compound with books and stuff behind them in a very, very subconscious way add to that authoritative nature that we're talking about here. Now that we take a little bit deeper, you'll understand the desired result for their ideal listener. Now, I completely switched this around from it being about how to grab $1 billion from 5 different types of investors. And what I talked about was here's how to raise capital as a beginner, because it's something they talk about very, very frequently is what would you do if you were a beginner? So that is the big title. That's the big headline. That's the thing that I want anybody to be able to understand, is that even a beginner can do this, because I'm such an authority. I can break this down in a way that somebody who has no experience, that has never done this, can do it. Generally speaking, that's not the person who they're targeting. The person who they're targeting is probably done this before and has experience in it already. However, what you want somebody to be able to understand is everything I'm talking about is not easy. It's just simple once I explain it to you. So allow me to explain it to you. The very next thing we did is and I guess I talked about this earlier, the illusion of expertise is everything. I seriously want you to think of the humongous giants, Cody Sanchez, Alex Hormozi, Tai Lopez, freaking Aman Ghazi, these guys who are business coaches and business gurus. I highly doubt that they are actually the best business people in the world. I would doubt they're not even in the top 10% of extremely amazing business people. However, what they do better than probably anybody is they give the illusion that they are experts. So regular people, even people who are like actually experts, now look at them and they put them on the vault. Like they put them on a trophy case. And it's like, this person has to be good because look, what reason would I have to ever think that they are an amateur? None of their backgrounds are blurry. Their pictures look amazing. They look like authority. And more than anything, they are speaking to an emotion that I didn't even feel until I started to consume their content. That's the illusion of expertise. These guys can know jack shit about what they're talking about, but if the illusion is there, then so is the attention. If the attention is there, then so comes the sales, the marketing dollars that you don't have to spend, yada, yada, yada. So this is what my video looks like for them. I basically redid it with my thumbnail. Again, this thumbnail probably could be a little bit better, but I think it really gets the point across with the title that I said, which is super duper important because the person you actually want to talk to doesn't want to waste time, and then highlights the heavy SEO stepped caption. Now, because I'm John's YouTube coach now, at least for the sake of this video, the very next steps that I have John take is go back from the beginning. Podcasts are notorious for not making money, so what I'm going to have John do is record a video that is just about him. Forget all these other people and highlighting other people's brands, telling other people's stories, which is amazing. It just doesn't always make you money. And I turn this and I say, John, make a video that's about you. Make a video that got you to how do you start managing multifamily incomes and probably running an agency that does so. How did you get to the point where now you're interviewing people and you know a whole lot more about money than most of the population will ever know about it? Make your zero to hero video. Make the video that will make people relate to you emotionally more than anything else. The next thing that I do is I take that video will be about 8 to 10 minutes. I have a full guide that I use that scripts over exactly how to do. Here's the guy right here, the Gamma Doc, that walks through like, hey, here's how you script the video, here's how you go through it, this is how you do your lighting and everything, this is how you do that entire video. And then what I do is I take that video, because one of the biggest things that people do is they create content and they don't leverage the content enough, generally because it's not that great, but you leverage it. And how you leverage this is very, very simple. You take it and you break it down into 4 different clips. break it down into a very small breakdown of who he is, the emotional buy-in of your story. Take a case study clip that has to do something with the results that you got for clients, some type of expectation that you've done, and why you're really good at, and then some type of hot take in your industry. What don't people understand? And if they understood, they'll be able to do a whole lot better. And then take it and generate it into some form of call to action. You'll see my buddy Scott, who we ran this for, Scott didn't even get it, because you'll see these types of videos vary. Like your call to action video is this one right here, because it's like the least amount. People generally don't care as far as engagement wise. But what I start to do is, if I'm John, I start to leverage content in a more emotionally driven way so that I can start distributing it more on every single channel that my customer's on. And then I start to build a very serious personal brand that focuses solely on his audience and the emotional triggers, the problems, the pain points that his audience is solving. And that is the only thing I ever make content about for the rest of my life. And I turn John's channel, that's a little struggling right now, that certainly isn't getting half the amount of the viewership that it is, and I take that and I turn it into a freaking cash machine that now any form of outreach John does, anybody who sees his YouTube channel and has the problem, they look and they say, this is the guy I need to hire right now. So guys, I'm done being John's marketing coach, but you should implement all of this stuff inside your business right now. It is unbelievably important. See you guys in the next one.